question for us. And then we're going to jump straight into the second question with Alexa. The estate agent, your agent, states that we drew a line through clause 221.2. This is the clause where the owner can give a tenant 2 months in the event that the owner intends to sell the property. I'm assuming it means 2 months notice there. Both the owner and the tenant initialed next to the deleted clause. The tenant moved in on 1st October, and now 12 days later, the owner decides that they want to actually sell the property and demands us to make arrangement for access to the unit for viewings. The owner now says that the rental agent did not disclose what the clause was deleted, and they only signed there, right? According to them, if they knew that it is the 2 months notice clause due to sale, they would not have signed and accepted that clause. So the question now is, what are the implications here now? So can the owner query this legally, and do they have a foot to stand on for now, Alexa?
So seeing as though both the owner and the tenant initialed next to the cancelled clause, they are going to be bound by that cancellation of the clause. But that doesn't mean the owner cannot sell the property. It just means now that we're going to have to use the maxim, hier gaat voor koop. So hier gaat voor koop pretty much just states that the tenant's contract trumps the new sale. So it's also saying that the new owner will now step into the shoes of the erstwhile owner. So whatever lease agreement is in place, the new owner now becomes the contractee of that contract. So because he did initial, whether he says he doesn't know or not, he did initial next to that clause, so he is going to be held to it. All he's now going to have to do is either find someone who is taking on that tenant, or find someone who unfortunately will be able to take the legal steps to get the tenant removed. But it does seem like in this question, this isn't a non-paying tenant or breaching tenant. So I do feel personally that his next step would be to find either a purchaser who will take on the tenant, or actually no, there is no or. That is what he's going to have to go forward, because as we said in hier gaat voor koop, the tenant's rights do trump the sale.
I think so. Part of the question was, what do they do about viewings? Viewings is what they said they're worried about. How do they get people to actually view? Hopefully, in terms of there's obviously a written lease agreement in this particular circumstance. It sounds like it's a TPN lease agreement to me. So there should be clauses within the lease agreement that relate to viewings. So that'll set out that the landlord can give notice to view prospective purchases in terms of the premises. Hopefully, you have a reasonable tenant and they're going to allow that to happen in the circumstances. If not, the landlord still has legal remedies to actually enforce the compliance with that particular clause. So, that you go to court and basically get an order compelling the tenant to allow access in order to show viewings to prospective purchasers. So there's an answer there. It's super important, and it's one of those clauses that lawyers come back to so often. We get so many people who say, if I had known about this clause, I wouldn't have signed the agreement. You've got to be so careful about agreements that you sign in our law. In our law, we have a principle called you are assumed to know what you are signing in the circumstances. There are very exceptional circumstances where you can argue that you didn't know what you were signing and you could perhaps get out of the agreement. But the legal burden is very heavy on those who sign agreements. So unfortunately, an owner who's in this question who says, my agent didn't explain to me exactly what that clause was, you're not going to find too much favor with the court. If you're trying to get out of that, out of that situation, the court's going to say, no, you've got the ability to read the agreements and figure out exactly what you're getting into.
Absolutely. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you to our agents and our viewers for the questions. And just continue to watch our episodes, like, share, and subscribe, and give us more questions for the following week. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.
And thank you, Alexa, for joining us for a day.
Thanks for having me. Definitely.